I'm Linda Ingram, 62 years old, and this is the story of the Christmas I decided I wasn't going to be anyone's servant anymore. For 5 years since my husband passed, I thought my son Michael was my only anchor in this world. But Ashley, my daughter-in-law, had other plans for me, plans that involved me scrubbing her 4,000-square-foot house, cooking 3 meals a day, and babysitting 2 kids while she went shopping at Nordstrom. The breaking point came when she smirked at me over her wine glass. "Oh, Linda, my whole family is coming for Christmas. Just 25 people. You'll handle everything, won't you?" She didn't even phrase it as a question. Before I tell you what happened next, if you've ever felt taken advantage of by your own family, please take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if this story truly resonates with you. Let me know where you're watching from and what time it is there right now. And here's how I taught my daughter-in-law a lesson she'll never forget. That Friday morning started like every other Friday for the past 3 years. My phone rang at 6:47 a.m. Ashley never called at normal hours. "Linda, I need you here now. I have a nail appointment at 9. "No. Good morning. No, please. Just a man's wrapped in that sugary sweet voice she used when she needed something. I drove 45 minutes through Denver traffic, my arthritic hands gripping the steering wheel. When I arrived at their Cherry Creek mansion, yes, mansion, because Michael's tech job paid well enough for Ashley to live like royalty, I found chaos. Dishes piled in the sink from last night's dinner party, toys scattered across the Italian marble floors, and my 2 grandchildren, Emma and Jake, still in their pajamas, telling me Mommy hadn't made breakfast yet. "Grandma!" 5-year-old Emma ran to me, her face lighting up. "We're hungry!" I hugged them both, my heart melting as it always did. These kids were the only reason I kept coming back. I got them fed, scrambled eggs, whole wheat toast, fresh orange juice, while simultaneously loading the dishwasher and starting a load of laundry. By the time Ashley clicked down the stairs in her designer heels, the kitchen sparkled. She surveyed my work with the critical eye of a drill sergeant. "Linda, the eggs are a bit dry. You know the kids prefer them creamy." She grabbed her Louis Vuitton purse. "I'll be back around 3. The cleaning lady canceled, so you'll need to vacuum upstairs. Oh, and dinner should be ready by 6. Michael's bringing clients home." After she left, I stood in that pristine kitchen, my back aching, and wondered when exactly I'd become the unpaid help. It hadn't always been this way. When Michael first married Ashley 8 years ago, she was sweet, appreciative. But after my husband Tom died from a heart attack, something shifted. Maybe she saw my vulnerability, my desperate need to stay connected to my only child. Maybe she knew I'd do anything to remain in my grandchildren's lives. The truth was, I had something Ashley didn't know about, a savings account with $150,000 that Tom and I had built over 30 years. Ashley assumed I lived on just Social Security, barely scraping by in my modest ranch house in Lakewood. She had no idea about the investments, the life insurance payout, or the fact that I'd been secretly talking to a financial advisor about my options. That afternoon, as I scrubbed toilets in a house that wasn't mine, I made a mental note of every degrading task, every dismissive comment, every time Ashley had treated me like hired help instead of family. My journal at home had 5 years' worth of entries, 5 years of documentation that would soon prove very useful. When Michael came home that evening, he found me slumped on the couch, exhausted. "Mom, you okay?" he asked, but his concern felt hollow. He saw me struggling, saw his wife's treatment of me, yet he never said a word. "Just tired, honey," I replied, watching Ashley swan in and immediately criticize the dinner I'd spent 2 hours preparing. "It's not as good as that place in Lodo," she announced to the clients, as if I wasn't sitting right there. "But Linda tries her best." Michael's silence was deafening. That night, driving home in the dark, I knew something had to change. December 20th marked the beginning of the end. I was folding laundry in Michael's home office when Ashley barged in, her face glowing with excitement that made my stomach drop. "Linda, perfect timing! I have wonderful news!" She clasped her hands together like a child at Christmas, ironic considering what came next. "My entire family is coming for Christmas. Mom, Dad, my sisters, their husbands, all the kids, 25 people total." I set down the shirt I was folding. That's quite a gathering. Isn't it fabulous? And here's the menu I've planned. She thrust her phone in my face, showing me a Pinterest board titled Perfect Christmas Feast. 7 courses. 7. Prime rib, lobster bisque, roasted vegetables, 3 types of potatoes, homemade rolls, 2 kinds of pie, a chocolate fountain. Ashley, this would take a team of people to... Oh, don't be dramatic. You managed Thanksgiving just fine. Thanksgiving had been 12 people, and I'd cooked for 2 straight days. Besides, you're so good at this sort of thing. It's basically your superpower. My superpower. As if being treated like kitchen staff was something to be proud of. Oh, and one more tiny thing, she added, already heading for the door. You'll need to sleep on the couch Christmas Eve. We're giving your usual guest room to my sister Rebecca. She gets claustrophobic in the basement. That was it, the final straw, the moment that broke something inside me that had been bending for 5 long years. Of course, I heard myself say, my voice surprisingly steady. Whatever you need. Ashley beamed. You're the best, Linda. I don't know what we'd do without you. After she left, I pulled out my phone and made a call I'd been postponing for months. Hi, this is Linda Ingram. I spoke with you last month about options. Yes, I'd like to move forward with Plan B. The woman on the other end was professional, efficient. We can have everything ready by December 23rd, Mrs. Ingram. Are you certain about the timing? Absolutely certain. That evening, I tried one last time with Michael. I found him in his home gym, running on his treadmill, always running, never standing still long enough to see what was happening in his own house. Michael, we need to talk about Christmas. He didn't even slow down. Mom, whatever Ashley needs, just do it, okay? This promotion depends on impressing the partners, and Ashley's family connections are crucial. But Michael, 25 people, 7 courses. Mom, please. He finally stopped, wiping sweat from his face. Ashley's stressed with her boutique launching in January. Just help her out. It's what family does. What family does? The words echoed in my mind as I walked past the kitchen where Ashley was video chatting with her sister, loudly complaining about how Linda's cooking is so basic, but what can you expect from her generation? She must have sensed me because she looked up, not even embarrassed. Oh, Linda, since you're here, make sure you use the good china. It's in the cabinet above the refrigerator. You might need the stepladder. At my age, with my arthritis, climbing ladders to fetch her precious china. Of course, I said again, but this time I was smiling. Because Ashley had no idea that in less than 72 hours, her perfect Christmas would become a disaster she'd created entirely herself. That night, I went home and packed a single suitcase. Summer clothes only. I booked a first-class ticket to Fort Lauderdale. Why not treat myself? And arranged for a car service to pick me up at 4 a.m. on December 24th. I also sent another email to my contact. Confirm the delivery for noon on December 24th. Cash on delivery, recipient pays. Name on invoice, Ashley Morrison. I slept better that night than I had in years, dreaming of palm trees and ocean waves, while Ashley's perfect Christmas plans ticked away like a time bomb she'd never see coming. December 23rd was supposed to be my final day of preparation. Ashley had texted me a minute-by-minute schedule starting at 6 a.m. Prep vegetables, brine turkey, make pie crusts, polish silver, iron tablecloths, arrange flowers, I'll have them delivered, set up beverage station, prepare guest room, remember you're on the couch. I arrived at their house at my usual time, but something was different. I wasn't angry anymore. I was free. Knowing this was the last time I'd walk through that door, as their servant gave me a strange sense of peace. Michael was in the kitchen, unusual for a Saturday morning. Mom, you're here early. Your wife's schedule, I said simply, setting down my purse. Michael, can we talk? Really talk? He glanced at his phone. I have a conference call in 10 minutes. This won't take long. I pulled out a chair, my knees creaking. Do you remember when Dad died? His face softened slightly. Of course, Mom. You promised me something at his funeral. Do you remember what it was? He shifted uncomfortably. Mom, I don't think... You said, "I'll take care of you, Mom. You'll never be alone." Well, I've never felt more alone than I do in this house, surrounded by people who see me as free labor. That's not... Mom, you're being dramatic. Ashley appreciates everything you do. Does she? When was the last time she said thank you? When was the last time either of you asked how I'm doing, if I'm healthy, if I'm happy? Michael's phone buzzed. He grabbed it like a lifeline. Mom, we'll talk about this after Christmas, okay? Right now, Ashley's really stressed and... Ashley's stressed? I stood up, my voice sharper than intended. I'm 62 years old, Michael. I have arthritis in both hands, sciatica that makes standing for hours agony, and blood pressure medication I take because my doctor says I'm one stressful event away from following your father. Mom! He looked genuinely alarmed. You never said... When would I have said it? Between scrubbing your toilets and cooking your dinners. Ashley's voice rang out from upstairs. Michael, your call. And Linda, those vegetables won't prep themselves. My son, my baby boy, who I'd raised to be kind, to be considerate, looked between the stairs and me, and he chose the stairs. We'll talk later, Mom. Please, just help us get through tomorrow. As his footsteps faded, I heard Ashley on the phone with her sister. Rebecca, you won't believe it. I have Linda doing everything. It's like having a maid, but free. She's so desperate to see the grandkids, she'll do anything. They were both on speaker laughing. God, I wish my mother-in-law was such a pushover, Rebecca replied. Mine actually expects to be treated like a guest. The secret, Ashley said, loud enough for me to hear, is to make them think they're needed. Old people are so terrified of being forgotten, it's actually kind of pathetic. Pathetic. That word followed me as I quietly gathered my purse and walked to the front door. I left a note on the kitchen counter. Family emergency, will explain later. L. In my car, I called my contact one more time. Is everything set? Yes, Mrs. Ingram. The catering team will arrive at exactly noon tomorrow. Full service, white glove treatment. The invoice clearly states COD, recipient responsible for payment. And the second delivery? Your attorney will arrive at 2 p.m. with all documentation. Perfect. I drove home, past the grocery store where I was supposed to be buying 20 pounds of potatoes, past the florist where Ashley's flowers waited, past the life I was leaving behind. At home, I added one final entry to my journal. December 23rd, the day I chose myself. At 4 a.m. on Christmas Eve, while Denver slept under a blanket of snow, a black town car pulled up to my house. The driver loaded my suitcase as I took one last look at my home, already listed with a realtor who promised a quick, quiet sale. Airport, ma'am? The driver asked. Yes, I said, turning off my phone. And it's going to be a wonderful flight. The Denver International Airport at 5 a.m. on Christmas Eve was surprisingly busy. Families rushing to make flights, business travelers trying to get home, and me, a 62-year-old woman with a first-class ticket to freedom. At the check-in counter, the agent smiled. Fort Lauderdale for Christmas? Lucky you. Yes, I replied, feeling lighter than I had in years. Very lucky. I'd turned off my phone in the car, but I could imagine it lighting up right about now. Ashley would be waking up, checking her schedule, wondering why I wasn't already in her kitchen. By 7 a.m. she'd be calling. By 8, panicking. By 9, furious. Settling into my first-class seat, a luxury I'd never allowed myself before, I accepted a mimosa from the flight attendant and thought about the last 30 years. Tom and I had built our life carefully, saving, investing, always putting Michael first. Private schools, college tuition, even help with the down payment on that Cherry Creek mansion. We'd lived modestly so our son could soar. Would you like breakfast, Mrs. Ingram? The flight attendant's voice pulled me back. Yes, please, everything. As we lifted off, Denver shrinking below, I thought about all the Christmases I'd spent cooking for others. My mother had done the same. Cooked, cleaned, served, never sitting down to enjoy the meal herself. That's what good mothers do, she'd always said. But she'd died at 68, worn out, having never traveled anywhere beyond Colorado. I wasn't going to be my mother. Halfway through the flight, I turned on my phone in airplane mode and opened my email. I'd been working with a financial advisor, Patricia, for 6 months. She'd helped me understand that my $150,000 savings, combined with Tom's life insurance and Social Security, meant I could live comfortably for the rest of my life, if I made smart choices. "Downsizing is your friend," Patricia had said. "A small condo in Florida costs half what your Denver house is worth. No more harsh winters, no more high heating bills, and definitely no more being anyone's unpaid servant." I'd also been corresponding with a lawyer about grandparents' rights in Colorado. Turns out, Ashley couldn't legally keep me from seeing Emma and Jake, especially with my documented history of caregiving. That knowledge was power Ashley didn't know I possessed. I drafted an email to Patricia, scheduled to send at noon. "Phase 1 complete. Please proceed with the house listing and Florida condo purchase. Wire the catering payment as discussed." Another email to my lawyer. "Please deliver the documents as scheduled. Make sure Ashley understands that any attempt to alienate me from my grandchildren will result in legal action." And finally, an email to Michael, scheduled for 1 p.m. "Son, I love you, but I can no longer enable your wife's treatment of me. I've spent 5 years being diminished, dismissed, and disrespected in your home while you stood by silently. Your father would be ashamed. I'm in Florida, starting a new life. When you're ready to have a relationship with me that doesn't involve me being your servant, you know how to reach me. The catering team arriving at noon is my Christmas gift to Ashley. She'll appreciate the bill. Love, Mom." As we descended into Fort Lauderdale, the pilot announced it was 78 degrees and sunny. I looked out at the palm trees, the blue ocean stretching endlessly, and felt something I hadn't experienced in 5 years. Hope. At baggage claim, my phone showed 47 missed calls. 23 from Ashley, 20 from Michael, 4 from unknown numbers. Probably Ashley's family wondering where their feast was. I deleted the voicemail notifications without listening and called my Uber. The driver, a cheerful woman named Maria, asked, "Visiting for the holidays?" "No," I said, surprising myself with the certainty in my voice. "I'm moving here, starting over." "Good for you, honey. Never too late for a new beginning." The condo I'd rented for the week was perfect. Small but bright, with an ocean view from the balcony. I'd figure out permanent housing later. For now, I unpacked my summer clothes, poured myself a glass of wine from the welcome basket the rental agency had left, and stepped onto the balcony. It was 11:47 a.m. in Denver. In 13 minutes, a catering van would pull up to Michael's house. I imagined Ashley's face when they started unloading equipment, setting up stations, preparing the feast she'd demanded. Her relief would last exactly until they presented her with the $8,500 bill, payable immediately, her name clearly printed as the responsible party. I raised my glass to the ocean. "Merry Christmas, Ashley." For the first time in 5 years, I was exactly where I wanted to be, far from anyone who saw me as their servant, starting the next chapter of my life on my own terms. You know, sitting here on this beautiful Florida beach talking to you all, I can't help but wonder, have you ever been in my shoes? Have you ever given so much of yourself that you forgot who you were? I'm Linda, and if my story is resonating with you, if you've ever felt invisible in your own family, please hit that subscribe button. Not because I'm asking, but because you deserve to hear stories that remind you of your worth. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. Is it snowing where you are? Because I'm sitting here in 78-degree sunshine, and trust me, what happens next in Denver is even better than this weather. Back in Denver, while I was sipping my wine on that Florida balcony, Ashley Morrison was having the worst morning of her privileged life. I heard the details later from Michael, and I won't lie. Every word was satisfaction served ice cold. At 11 a.m., Ashley had stood in her kitchen, phone pressed to her ear, leaving me what would be my favorite voicemail ever. "Linda, where the hell are you? My family will be here in 2 hours. The vegetables aren't prepped. Nothing's cooking. Get here now." By 11:30, she'd called Michael out of his home office. "Your mother isn't answering. On Christmas Eve. Can you believe this selfishness?" Michael, bless his confused heart, had tried to calm her. "Maybe she's sick? She did leave that note about an emergency." "Emergency? What emergency could be more important than this?" Ashley had shrieked. Then the doorbell rang. Rebecca arrived first, Ashley's younger sister with her husband and 3 kids. "Merry Christmas! Oh my God, it smells amazing in here. What are you cooking?" Ashley's face had gone pale. Nothing was cooking. Nothing was even started. Linda's running late," Ashley stammered. But Rebecca was already walking toward the kitchen. "Linda? Who's Linda?" "Michael's mother. She's handling the food." Rebecca's eyebrows shot up. "Your 62-year-old mother-in-law is cooking for 25 people? By herself?" Before Ashley could answer, more family arrived. Her parents, her other sister, cousins, their kids. A wave of relatives flooding into a house that had no food prepared, no appetizers set out, nothing but Ashley's growing panic. "Maybe we should order pizza," someone suggested, "on Christmas Eve?" Ashley's mother clutched her pearls. "Ashley, you promised a feast. You sent us all that Pinterest board." Michael was frantically calling me, but my phone was off, sitting in my beach condo while I enjoyed a peaceful lunch at a seafood restaurant. I'd ordered the lobster. Why not? I'd been cooking them for others for years. At exactly noon, the doorbell rang at Michael's house. Ashley flew to answer it, probably hoping it was me with some miracle explanation. Instead, she found a team of 5 people in crisp white uniforms. "Morrison residents? We're here to set up for your Christmas event." For a moment, Ashley's relief was palpable. "Oh, thank God! Linda sent you?" "The order was placed by a Mrs. L. Ingram, but the invoice is in your name, Mrs. Morrison." The team leader handed her a tablet. "We'll need payment before we begin service." Ashley had looked at the total and nearly fainted. $8,500? That's insane! "Ma'am, this is a premium holiday service. 25 people, 7 courses, last-minute booking on Christmas Eve. Actually, you got a discount. Shall we begin setup?" Ashley's family was watching. Her mother, who'd been bragging to her church friends about her daughter's spectacular Christmas feast, was staring. Rebecca was smirking. She'd always suspected Ashley was all show. I don't have that much cash." "We accept credit cards, ma'am." What choice did she have? 25 hungry relatives, including children, were waiting. Her reputation as the perfect hostess was crumbling. She handed over her credit card, the one she'd already maxed out on Christmas shopping, praying it would go through. It did, barely. As the catering team efficiently transformed her kitchen into a functioning operation, Ashley tried to salvage her dignity. "I planned this all along," she told her family. "Linda was just supposed to supervise them." But Rebecca wasn't buying it. "So where is Linda?" Michael, finally checking his email, found my scheduled message. His face went white as he read it. "Mom's in Florida." "What?" Ashley shrieked, loud enough that the catering staff paused. She's done. She says she's done being our servant." The room went silent. Ashley's father, a stern man who'd raised his daughters with old-fashioned values, spoke first. "Servant? You've been treating Michael's mother like a servant?" "No, she helps out sometimes." "Ashley Michelle Morrison," her mother interrupted, using the full name that meant trouble. "Are you telling me that poor woman has been cooking and cleaning for you while you've been posting all those Instagram photos of your dinner parties?" The truth was unraveling like a cheap sweater. Rebecca pulled out her phone, scrolling through Ashley's social media. "Wait, all these elaborate meals you've been bragging about, Linda made them?" "She enjoys it," Ashley protested weakly. "Enjoys it so much she fled to Florida on Christmas Eve?" Rebecca's husband added, not bothering to hide his amusement. Michael stood there, my email still on his phone, finally seeing what I'd been trying to tell him for years. His mother hadn't abandoned them. She'd escaped them. The catering team worked with the efficiency of a military operation, transforming Ashley's kitchen into something from a 5-star restaurant. They'd brought everything: linens, centerpieces, even their own serving platters. Within an hour, appetizers were circulating, champagne was flowing, and the smell of roasting prime rib filled the house. Ashley should have been relieved. Instead, she was calculating the interest on her maxed-out credit card while her relatives whispered in corners. $8,000? her cousin Brad stage whispered to his wife. "For one meal?" "Shh," his wife replied, but her eyes were wide. Though it does explain why Ashley always insists on hosting. If Linda's been doing everything for free. The catering manager approached Ashley with another tablet. "Mrs. Morrison, I need to confirm the service details. The invoice indicates you'll be handling cleanup yourself?" "What? No. Full service means full service with cleanup is an additional $1,500. The original order specifically stated family would handle post-meal cleaning." Ashley's eye twitched. Her mother was watching. Rebecca was recording on her phone. "For memories," she claimed. "Fine. Add it." Another $1,500. The credit card machine beeped ominously before finally accepting the charge. Meanwhile, Michael had retreated to his office, calling me repeatedly. Each call went straight to voicemail. He'd tried my neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, who cheerfully informed him, "Oh, Linda left for the airport early this morning. Said she was spending Christmas somewhere warm. Good for her, I say. That woman deserved a vacation." "A vacation?" Michael had repeated numbly. "Well, more than that, actually. She mentioned something about a fresh start. Sold her house and everything." "She sold her house?" "Closing next month," she said. "Cash buyer over asking price. This market is crazy." Michael hung up and sat in his expensive ergonomic chair in his perfect home office, realizing he had no idea who his mother really was anymore. The woman who'd fled to Florida wasn't the meek, accommodating mother he'd taken for granted. This was someone with plans, resources, and the courage to use them. Downstairs, dinner was being served. The prime rib was perfectly pink, the lobster bisque rich and creamy, the vegetables roasted to perfection. It was everything Ashley had promised and more. But the atmosphere was poisonous. "So, Ashley," her father said, cutting into his meat, "tell me more about this arrangement with Linda. How often does she help out?" "It's not, Dad, she's family. Family helps each other." "Interesting definition of help," Rebecca muttered, loud enough for everyone to hear. "When's the last time you helped her?" "I let her see the grandchildren." The table went silent. Even the children seemed to sense the tension. Ashley's mother set down her fork. "You let her see her own grandchildren? As if that's some kind of favor? She lives alone. She's lonely. Being here gives her purpose." "Being your unpaid servant gives her purpose?" Rebecca's husband asked. "Wow, that's quite a Christmas gift." Michael finally emerged from his office, looking haggard. "I found something," he announced, holding up a piece of paper. "On the refrigerator, a list." Ashley snatched it from him. It was my handwriting, neat and precise. 5 years of service, a summary, 780 dinners cooked, 1,200 hours of childcare, 156 grocery runs, 89 doctor-dentist appointments driven, 47 birthday dinner parties catered, 234 loads of laundry, estimated value at minimum wage, $47,000, times thanked, 0, times paid, 0, times asked about my health for happiness, 0. Merry Christmas, Ashley. The bill is past due. The silence that followed was deafening. Ashley's hands shook as she set the paper down. "My God," her mother whispered. "You've been treating that woman like slave labor." "She volunteered," Ashley protested, but even she didn't sound convinced anymore. "Did she?" Michael asked quietly. "Or did we just assume she would? Did we make her feel like she had no choice if she wanted to see Emma and Jake?" The children, hearing their names, looked up from their plates. "Where's Grandma?" Emma asked. "She always reads us 'Twas the Night Before Christmas." "Grandma's on vacation," Michael said gently. "Without us?" Jake's lower lip trembled. "But it's Christmas." "Sometimes," Rebecca said, looking directly at Ashley, "people need to spend Christmas where they're actually appreciated." Just then, the doorbell rang again. Ashley looked like she might cry. "What now?" Michael went to answer it, returning with a well-dressed man carrying a briefcase. "He says he's looking for Ashley Morrison." The man stepped forward. "Mrs. Morrison, I'm James Crawford from Crawford & Associates. I have some documents for you from my client, Mrs. Linda Ingram." The room collectively held its breath as Ashley accepted the manila envelope with trembling hands. Ashley's fingers fumbled with the envelope while 25 pairs of eyes watched. The catering staff, sensing drama, quietly retreated to the kitchen. "What is this?" Ashley demanded, pulling out a thick stack of papers. Mr. Crawford adjusted his glasses. "The first document is a formal notice that Mrs. Ingram has established a trust fund for Emma and Jake Morrison to be accessed when they turn 18 for educational purposes only. The amount is $25,000 per child." Michael's jaw dropped. "Mom set up college funds? With the stipulation," Crawford continued, "that neither parent can access these funds under any circumstances. The second document." "$50,000? Ashley interrupted, her voice climbing. "She has $50,000 to give away?" "The second document," Crawford pressed on, "is a notice of relocation. Mrs. Ingram has permanently moved to Florida and wishes to establish a visitation schedule with her grandchildren. She's requesting 1 month each summer and alternating holidays." "Absolutely not!" Ashley shrieked. "She can't just—" "Actually, she can," Crawford said calmly. "The third document outlines Mrs. Ingram's legal rights as a grandparent under Colorado law, particularly given her extensive history as a caregiver. She has 5 years of detailed documentation." "Documentation?" Michael asked weakly. Crawford pulled out another paper. "Every date, time, and task. Every meal cooked, every hour of childcare, every demeaning comment. It's all here. Mrs. Morrison, did you really tell your sister that your mother-in-law was pathetic and desperate on December 23rd at 2:47 p.m.? Rebecca gasped. "You were recording?" "Mrs. Ingram kept a journal, very detailed, very admissible." Ashley's father stood up. "Let me see that." He read in silence, his face growing redder with each page. "March 15th. Ashley insisted I clean the bathroom on my hands and knees because the mop doesn't do it right. My arthritis was so bad I couldn't hold a pen afterward. April 2nd, cooked Easter dinner for 18 people. Ashley told guests she'd been slaving in the kitchen all day while I served. June 10th, missed my doctor's appointment because Ashley needed emergency babysitting for her spa day." "Stop," Ashley whispered. But her father continued. "August 22nd, Michael watched Ashley berate me for burning 1 piece of toast. He said nothing. September 5th, Ashley's friend asked if I was the help. Ashley laughed and said, 'Might as well be.' The room was tomb silent, except for the soft clink of the catering staff packing up in the kitchen. "There's more," Crawford said. "Mrs. Ingram has also documented financial gifts to your household over the years. $30,000 for your house down payment, $15,000 for Michael's car, $8,000 for Emma's medical bills when insurance wouldn't cover them, all while you assumed she was living on Social Security alone." Michael sank into a chair. "We thought Ashley said Mom was broke." "I didn't say that exactly," Ashley protested weakly. "No," Rebecca interjected, scrolling through her phone. "You said, and I quote from your text last month, 'Linda's so poor, she should be grateful we let her eat here.'" Ashley's mother stood up, her dignity intact despite her shame. "Ashley, we're leaving." "What, Mom? Dinner isn't—" "I've lost my appetite." She turned to Michael. "Young man, your mother is a saint for putting up with this for 5 years. If you have any sense, you'll fly to Florida tonight and beg her forgiveness." One by one, Ashley's relatives began gathering their things. Her cousin Brad stopped at the door. "That woman cooked Thanksgiving dinner for us 3 years running. I thought Ashley made it. I never even thanked Linda." "None of us did," Rebecca added quietly. "We all bought into Ashley's perfect hostess act." Within 30 minutes, the house was empty except for Michael, Ashley, the children, and Mr. Crawford, who wasn't quite finished. "One final item," he said, pulling out the last document. "Mrs. Ingram wanted me to inform you that she's blocked both your numbers for the next 30 days. She'll consider reopening communication in January, but only if certain conditions are met." "Conditions?" Ashley sputtered. "She can't put conditions on seeing her grandchildren." "Actually, these conditions are for you to have any contact with her. They include a written apology acknowledging 5 years of exploitation, proof of family therapy attendance, and a commitment to never request any form of labor from her again." Crawford closed his briefcase. My client also wanted me to deliver this message verbally. I raised my son better than this. Tom would be ashamed. But I believe people can change if they choose to. The choice is yours. He left his business card on the table and walked out, leaving the Morrison family in the ruins of their perfect Christmas. Emma tugged on Michael's sleeve. "Daddy, why is Grandma mad at us?" Michael looked at his daughter, then at his wife, who was staring at the $10,000 catering bill, then at the empty house that suddenly felt enormous and cold. "She's not mad at you, sweetheart," he said finally. "She's disappointed in Daddy, and she has every right to be." But Crawford wasn't done. Just as he reached the door, he turned back. "Oh, I almost forgot. There's one more thing." He pulled out his phone and dialed. "Mrs. Ingram? Yes, they've received everything. Would you like to speak with them? Video call? Certainly." He handed the phone to Michael. There I was, on the screen, sitting on a restaurant patio with the ocean behind me, looking healthier and happier than I had in years. "Hi, Michael," I said simply. "Mom," his voice cracked. "Mom, I'm so sorry." "I know you are, honey, now, but where was that sorrow for the last 5 years?" Ashley lunged for the phone. "Linda, you can't just abandon us on Christmas. The children have 2 parents," I interrupted, my voice steady. 2 capable adults who can certainly manage one holiday without enslaving a 62-year-old woman. Enslaving? That's dramatic. Is it? Let me tell you what I've been doing for the past 6 months while you thought I was just your obedient servant. I've been meeting with lawyers, financial advisors, and real estate agents. I've been documenting every instance of exploitation. I've been slowly moving my money into accounts you can't touch, and I've been planning this moment. Michael's face was pale. 6 months? You've been planning to leave for 6 months? No, honey. I've been planning to save myself for 6 months. There's a difference. But why didn't you just talk to us? He pleaded. I laughed, but it wasn't bitter. It was free. I tried. Remember October 10th? I told you I was exhausted. You said, "Just push through, Mom. Ashley needs you." November 3rd? I mentioned my arthritis was getting worse. Ashley suggested I take Advil and keep going. November 28th, Thanksgiving. I cooked for 14 hours straight, and neither of you even sat with me during dinner. We thought you preferred eating in the kitchen, Ashley said weakly. No one prefers eating alone in the kitchen while their family celebrates in the dining room. Crawford cleared his throat. Mrs. Ingram, should I tell them about the house? What about the house? Michael asked. I've sold it, I said simply. Closing is January 15th. I've already purchased a condo here in Fort Lauderdale. 2 bedrooms, one for me and one for when the grandchildren visit, if you ever allow that. You can't just disappear, Ashley shrieked. What you need, I interrupted, is to learn to take care of yourselves. Ashley, you're 34 years old. You have a housekeeper, a gardener, and until today, you had me. What exactly do you do all day? The silence was deafening. I'll tell you what I'm doing, I continued. Tomorrow, I'm having Christmas dinner with 3 other women I met at my hotel. All of us are refugees from ungrateful families. We're calling it the Christmas Liberation Lunch. Helen's son told her she couldn't visit unless she babysat his 4 kids. Margaret's daughter-in-law informed her that grandmothers don't need Christmas gifts because seeing the family is gift enough. And Dorothy's family forgot to pick her up for Christmas Eve service, then blamed her for not reminding them. Mom, Michael whispered, we're not like those people. Aren't you? When's the last time you gave me a Christmas gift, Michael? When's the last time you asked what I wanted for the holidays? When's the last time you considered that maybe, just maybe, I didn't want to spend my Christmas cooking and cleaning for people who don't even thank me? Emma's voice piped up from the background. Daddy, we didn't get Grandma a present? The shame on Michael's face was answer enough. But here's the thing, I continued, my voice softening slightly. I don't hate you, either of you. I'm disappointed, hurt, and exhausted, but I don't hate you. That's why I'm giving you this chance. What chance? Michael asked desperately. The chance to become people I can respect again. Get therapy. Learn to appreciate what you have. Teach your children that grandmothers aren't servants. And maybe we can build something new. And if we don't? Ashley asked, her voice small. Then I'll still love my son and grandchildren from a distance. But I will never be your servant again. Crawford took the phone back. Mrs. Ingram has asked me to remind you that the 30-day no-contact period begins now. Any attempts to circumvent this will result in extended restrictions. The email address for your written apologies is in the packet I left. He ended the call and headed for the door. Merry Christmas, folks. I hope you use this time wisely. The door closed with a quiet click, leaving the Morrison family alone with their catered feast, their enormous house, and the echo of everything they'd lost. I know some of you might be thinking I was too harsh, but let me ask you something. How many years of your life would you give away being treated like furniture before you said enough? I'm Linda, still here in sunny Florida, and I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to choose between keeping the peace and keeping your sanity? Drop a comment below. Tell me your story. And if you believe that everyone, regardless of age, deserves respect and dignity, please hit that subscribe button. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes, the best gift you can give yourself is the courage to walk away. Now let me tell you how this all ended. 3 hours after Crawford left, my phone rang with a video call from an unknown number. I knew it would happen. Ashley was never one to follow rules. I answered, already recording on my end for legal purposes. Ashley's face filled the screen, mascara streaking down her cheeks, but her tears were angry, not remorseful. How dare you humiliate me in front of my entire family? I didn't humiliate you, Ashley. I simply stopped enabling you. There's a difference. You planned this. You deliberately sabotaged my Christmas. No, I said calmly, sipping my wine as the Florida sunset painted the sky orange. You sabotaged your own Christmas 5 years ago when you decided I was your personal servant. I just stopped playing along. You're a grandmother. Grandmothers are supposed to help. Help, yes. Be enslaved? No. There's a difference between being helpful and being exploited, though you never seem to learn that distinction. Michael appeared in the frame, taking the phone from Ashley. Mom, please. The kids are crying. They don't understand why Grandma isn't here. Then explain it to them in age-appropriate terms. Tell them Grandma needed a vacation. Tell them Grandma is sick. Tell them whatever you need to. But don't you dare guilt me with those children's tears when you've watched me cry for 5 years and done nothing. That's not fair. Fair? I laughed. Was it fair when Ashley told me I couldn't attend Emma's school play because someone needed to stay home and prepare dinner for her book club? Was it fair when I missed my friend Janet's funeral because Ashley had a last-minute conference and needed childcare? Was it fair when you both went to Hawaii for 10 days and left me with the kids, the house, and a list of chores? We thought you enjoyed spending time with them. I do enjoy my grandchildren. What I don't enjoy is being treated like an unpaid nanny while you post Instagram photos from the beach. Ashley grabbed the phone back. If you don't come back right now, you'll never see Emma and Jake again. I smiled. Ashley, did you not listen to Mr. Crawford? I have 5 years of documentation. I have recordings of you calling me pathetic. I have texts where you brag about using me. I have enough evidence to not only secure grandparents' rights, but possibly raise questions about your fitness as a parent. Do you really want to go there? Her face went white. You're threatening me? No, I'm informing you of consequences, something you've never had to face before. This is Michael's mother you're talking to, Michael said, trying to regain control. My mother! Exactly, your mother. Not your servant, not your employee, not your on-call babysitter. Your mother, a human being with her own life, needs, and dignity. When did you forget that? Mom! Michael's voice broke. Please, it's Christmas. Yes, it is, and for the first time in 5 years, I'm actually enjoying it. Do you know what I had for dinner? Fresh grouper at a waterfront restaurant. Do you know who served it to me? A pleasant young man who called me ma'am and thanked me for my patronage. He showed me more respect in 30 minutes than you've shown me in 5 years. That's enough! Ashley screamed. "You're just a bitter old woman who what, Ashley? Who finally stood up for herself? Who refused to be your doormat anymore? Who decided that 62 years of life experience deserved more than scrubbing your toilets?" Michael wrestled the phone back. "Mom, if you come back, things will be different. I promise." "Oh, honey," I said softly. "That's what you said after Dad's funeral. That's what you said when Emma was born. That's what you said last Christmas when I spent 14 hours cooking and then ate alone in the kitchen. Your promises are worth less than the paper they're not written on." "So that's it? You're just giving up on us?" "No, Michael. I'm giving you the opportunity to grow up, to appreciate what you had, to become the man your father and I raised you to be, not this weak shadow who lets his wife treat his mother like garbage. Don't you dare bring Dad into this." "Your father would be horrified by what you've become," I said quietly. "He treated my mother like gold until the day she died. He would never, ever have allowed anyone to disrespect me the way you've allowed Ashley to." That hit home. Michael's face crumpled. Ashley made one last grab for the phone. "When you're old and alone and dying in some nursing home, don't come crying to us." "Ashley," I said with perfect calm, "I'd rather die alone with my dignity intact than live another day as your slave. And considering I have more money than you thought and friends you don't know about, I doubt I'll be alone. Can you say the same? After today's performance, how many of your family members will ever respect you again?" The silence was my answer. It was my 30 days, I reminded them. Use them wisely, or don't. The choice is yours. I ended the call and blocked the number. Then I walked out onto my balcony, breathed in the salt air, and felt the chains of 5 years finally, completely fall away. Christmas morning in Fort Lauderdale was nothing like the chaos I'd known for years. I woke naturally at 7 a.m., not to demanding phone calls or texts about breakfast prep, but to the sound of seagulls and waves. For the first time in 5 years, Christmas morning was actually peaceful. I made myself coffee with the fancy machine in my rental condo, added real cream — Ashley always bought skim — and took it out to the balcony. The beach was already dotted with morning joggers and dog walkers, normal people living normal lives, not serving ungrateful relatives. At 8 a.m., I did something I hadn't done in years. I attended a beach yoga class. The instructor, a woman about my age named Carol, welcomed me warmly. "First time?" "First time for a lot of things," I admitted. As we moved through gentle poses, my arthritis protested initially, then gradually loosened. 5 years of constant labor had taken its toll, but here, stretching toward the sunrise, I felt my body beginning to forgive me for the abuse I'd allowed it to endure. After class, Carol invited me for smoothies with her regular group, 3 other women, all around my age, all with their own stories of liberation. "Left my husband after 40 years, Helen said matter-of-factly. "He retired and expected me to wait on him hand and foot. I said, I retired too, from being your maid." "My kids thought I'd babysit full-time for free," Margaret added. "Moved here from Michigan. Best decision ever." "You're never too old to start over," Dorothy chimed in. "I'm 71 and just learned to paddleboard." These women became my Christmas miracle. We spent the day together, brunch at a beachfront cafe, an afternoon movie, dinner at a Cuban restaurant where we danced to live music. Not once did I cook, clean, or serve anyone. Around 9 p.m., my phone buzzed with an email from Michael. I'd unblocked emails, but not calls. The subject line read, "Mom, please read this." "Mom, I've been sitting here all day in this empty house. Ashley took the kids to her mother's. She's furious, but more than that, she's scared. Scared that everyone knows the truth now. Her family won't stop talking about how she treated you. Her sister Rebecca posted something on Facebook about appreciating the people who really make holidays special with your name tagged. Ashley's mortified. But I'm not writing about Ashley. I'm writing about me. About how I failed you. Dad would be ashamed of me. I'm ashamed of me. I chose the easy path, letting Ashley control everything because it meant I didn't have to confront her. I sacrificed you for my own peace, and that's unforgivable. I understand if you never want to see me again, but please, don't punish Emma and Jake for our failures. They love you. They need you. just not as a servant, as their grandmother. I'm starting therapy next week. Individual, not couples. I need to figure out how I became someone who would watch his mother suffer and do nothing. I love you, Mom. I'm sorry that hasn't been enough. Michael. I read it twice, then set the phone aside. It was a start, but words were easy. Ashley had said lots of words over the years. Change, real change. That was hard. My phone rang. Patricia, my financial advisor, working even on Christmas. Linda, just wanted to confirm the house sale documents are ready. You're really doing this? I really am. Good for you. The condo here is perfect. 2 blocks from the beach, walking distance to everything, and that HOA includes lawn care and maintenance. You'll never have to clean gutters again. Or anyone else's bathroom, I added. Patricia laughed. Exactly. Oh, and that investment portfolio we discussed? With the house sale profits and your current savings, you're looking at a very comfortable retirement. You could travel, take classes, whatever you want. Whatever I wanted. After 5 years of doing what everyone else wanted, the freedom was intoxicating. That night, I stood on my balcony watching the moonlight dance on the waves. Somewhere in Denver, my son was learning to live without a safety net. His wife was facing the consequences of her actions. My grandchildren were probably confused and sad. But for the first time in 5 years, I wasn't responsible for fixing any of it. I wasn't responsible for anyone's happiness but my own. Merry Christmas, Linda, I said to myself, raising my wine glass to the stars. Welcome to the rest of your life. A year later, Christmas 2024, I hosted my own celebration in my Florida condo, not for family, that bridge was still being rebuilt slowly, but for my new chosen family, Helen, Margaret, Dorothy, and 3 other women we'd met through our Liberation Club, as we jokingly called it. We'd catered it, of course. None of us were cooking ourselves to exhaustion anymore. We'd learned that lesson. A toast, Helen raised her champagne, to the Christmas we chose ourselves. As we clinked glasses, my phone buzzed with a video message from Emma and Jake. Michael had been sending these monthly, respecting my boundaries while keeping the connection alive. Merry Christmas, Grandma! Emma waved at the camera. We miss you. We made you a card. Jake held up a drawing of a beach with a stick figure labeled Grandma smiling under a palm tree. Michael appeared in frame, looking healthier than he had in years. The stress of his marriage, they'd separated 6 months ago, had aged him, but therapy was helping. Merry Christmas, Mom. We're doing okay. Ashley's with her family. Kids are adjusting. We'd love to see you when you're ready. When I was ready. Not when they demanded. Not when they needed something. When I was ready. I sent back a simple message. Maybe this summer. We'll see. Dorothy looked over my shoulder. Your son? Yes. Still working on forgiveness? Forgiveness happened months ago, I said. Trust? That's the long road. Smart woman. Later that evening, as my friends were leaving, Margaret pulled me aside. Linda, you saved yourself. That takes incredible courage. I waited too long, I admitted. No, you left at exactly the right time, when you were ready. Some people never find that courage. She was right. In my support group, yes, I'd joined one, I'd met women in their 70s and 80s still serving ungrateful families, still believing that sacrifice equaled love. That night, I received one last email from Ashley. The first contact she'd made since the restraining order threat I'd filed when she'd tried to ambush me at my old house in February. Linda, I know you hate me. I probably deserve it. Michael says you might let the kids visit this summer. I won't fight it. They need their grandmother, the real one, not the servant I created. I'm in therapy too. Not because Michael made me, because Rebecca won't talk to me, because my parents are ashamed. Because I looked at my daughter and realized I was teaching her that women exist to serve. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that your leaving changed everything. It forced us to see ourselves, and we didn't like what we saw. Ashley. I didn't respond. Some bridges, once burned, were better left as ashes. But I saved the email. Growth was possible, even for Ashley. Whether it would last, only time would tell. As 2024 turned to 2025, I stood on my balcony one more time. The beach was quiet, the stars bright. I thought about Tom, my late husband, and what he'd think of all this. "You'd be proud of me," I whispered to the sky. I finally learned that loving myself isn't selfish, it's survival. A shooting star streaked across the horizon. I didn't make a wish. For the first time in my life, I had everything I needed: freedom, dignity, and the knowledge that I'd chosen myself when everyone else expected me to choose them. That was the real Christmas miracle. Not that I'd escaped, but that I'd finally understood I deserved to. The greatest gift you can give yourself is permission to live your own life. This is Linda, 63 now and living my best life. If my story helped even one person realize their worth, then sharing it was worth it. So tell me, would you have stayed or would you have flown to Florida? What would you have done differently? Comment below. I read every single one. And if you believe that everyone deserves respect, regardless of age or role in the family, please subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear that it's never too late to choose yourself. Remember, self-love isn't selfish, it's survival. Until next time, this is Linda, signing off from sunny Florida.